Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. So, today I'd like to talk about this huge avalanche of new weekly ETFs that are coming out. Yieldmax finally caved, and this is the prospectus that was submitted for YMAX and YMAG. And I'm actually just ambivalent because I've never been the biggest fan of YMAX and YMAG. I know that people like it because it is the diversified representations of their single stock ETF offerings. However, it's more expensive than their single stock ones, and it's diluted. No matter how you look at it, they're not doing like a cover call on top of owning the funds. They're not doing futures. They're doing nothing, like no additional stuff to it. It's just they're owning it like they're a person that just had those funds. And then because there's 2 weeks between when they declare the single stock ETFs and when this pays out, a lot of people do what I do, where I take those distributions and a portion of it goes into YMAX and YMAG. And so the distribution gets diluted. And it won't be as big of an issue as the assets under management grow. It's just one of those things where it is what it is. And I could think about it the other way, where like they could have just had the covered call strategies in YMAX and not offered the single stock at all, and I would have been very sad about that. But I'm not also sure about this because I think that weekly is actually a gimmick, and the actual reason why Roundhill is doing very well is because of the 0 days to expiration. But we will see. We will see. Also, in case you're wondering, well, first of all, this is a spreadsheet that I found on Reddit, and that user found it on a random Discord. And these are the high income ETFs that are currently out that are monthly. And so you can see, like, week 1, there's a bunch of Defiance ETFs. Week 2 is dominated by Yieldmax. But week 3, there's really nothing besides these 3 Yieldmax funds, because NEOs are interesting and are pretty good investments, but their yields are significantly lower than those of Yieldmax. And so it wasn't appropriate for the strategy that I'm doing in my brokerage account. So it was just a lack of options that got me in YMAG. Now, Ulti, on the other hand, I am hoping that it's just in a different prospectus and that those become weekly, because Ulti is a bunch of lesser known companies. And so what they could do is just stagger when their calls are due and keep the triple Q that they just recently added and make that 0 day to expiration. So we have a combination of like very high IV companies and the triple Qs, and just I've always liked Ulti, even though the NAV keeps depleting and breaking my heart. I just really want to vote like with my feet and just root on Ulti. I think it's a really cool experiment. I like it in ways that I don't like YMAX or YMAG. It's hard. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly or in a way that is intelligible, but I think I just like Ulti more than I like YMAX and YMAG. I'm not saying it's a better investment, but I personally like Ulti. Um, One more thing, too, or a few more things actually, but Defiance also has a prospectus out, and they're changing the QQQY, JEPY, and the IWMY to use the 0 day to expiration, and they're going to be weekly. And the problem with Defiance, well, first of all, I am excited about these in ways that I'm not excited about YMAX and YMAG, but Defiance has a track record of not being very careful with their NAVs. And I know that people are like up on total returns with their IWMY. I just am going to keep an eye on it for the rest of the year. And because we're going to have a round hill equivalent with RDTE, we should be able to compare them and say, like, which one is the better investment, even though they're both the same strategy. Because even if they have the same strategy and they have similar prospectuses, the actual calls that the contracts they put out and how far they are out of the money determines how much of a yield that we get. And also, I'm really, 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 really hoping that Defiance, Yieldmax, and Roundhill all have different declaration days during the week. So like Defiance could be on Monday, Roundhill keeps Wednesday, and Yieldmax on Friday. That way, I don't have to choose which fund I'm going to be in. I'll just be in all three. And that would be super cool. So I am more excited about Defiance. I am not going to go in on inception date for these, but I will be keeping an eye out on these because, you know, if they have different declaration dates and they keep their NAV and they can, it just depends on like what their yield is and how they're managed. So it just comes down to management. But I do like these more. The 0 day to expiration, that's super cool. So the last thing I would like to talk about is thank you so much, Yieldmax TV, for your shout out and introducing your community to my videos. And thank you, everybody who has come over at the encouragement of Oracle and the AMZY Army. I really do appreciate everybody coming over and watching and all of your kind comments. And I will do my best to, keep my content the way that I would like it. And I hope that you all are entertained. And let's not take it too seriously. We're allowed to give ourselves grace for when we do wind up making bad financial decisions. And I do hope that we all are going to be prosperous in our journey together. So, anyway, have a good night. I'll talk to you later. Bye.